the first of a doubleheader, 7-inning doubleheaders. But joining us right now from the School of Rock is our very own Roch Kubatko, who's all masked up and everything. Rock, what's going on, my friend?
What's up? I shaved for this segment, and I realized unless it's my eyebrows, no one's going to know.
Exactly. I don't even know whether you're smiling right now or not.
You can't even see my hands right now. You don't know what I'm doing.
That's scary.
I'm gesturing to you
DJ
right now, Rob.
Stewart is scuffling. You're scuffling like DJ. DJ Stewart is scuffling at the plate right now. What is going on with the young outfielder?
Yeah, I think it's the textbook example of a guy who's really pressing right now. When you're 0 for 14, that's a problem already. We have 8 strikeouts to go with it. That's a big-time struggle. And Brandon Hyde pointed out again last night how it just looks like he's trying too hard. He said it looks like every time DJ swings, he's trying to put a baseball on top of the warehouse. And I looked it up, and that's never been done. So you might want to go for a more attainable goal than hitting the top of the warehouse. And you know, he is pressing, and there is pressure. He's getting an opportunity, first of all, we didn't even know he was going to get. Because remember, back in March, he was supposed to go on the IL. He had the ankle surgery in October. Not only does the shutdown allow him to break camp with the team, now he's a starter because Trey Mancini is going to miss the season. So this is the best opportunity he's really had, and he's not even coming close right now to taking advantage of it. So, of course, he's pressing for that reason. And then, of course, there's the whole Ryan Mountcastle thing. I get asked 20 times a day, where's Mountcastle? Why is it Mountcastle here? What are they doing with Mountcastle? How do you spell Mountcastle? I get constant questions about this kid, and he is at the Bowie camp working out in left field, which is where DJ Stewart plays. So there's another layer of pressure on Stewart right now. Yep. So I'm sure all that's weighing on him. And if he doesn't start hitting, you know Mountcastle's going to come up here at some point. They don't want him to DH. They want him to play in the field, and that would be left. That could cost DJ his roster spot. So he needs to figure out a way, or the Orioles have to find a way to get him to be able to relax at least, give himself more of a chance at the plate. Maybe it's like Austin Hayes. Infield hit here, ground ball that gets through a hole there, and maybe he takes off.
Yeah, I mean, some guys see opportunity as precious. Some see it as exactly that, an opportunity to shine. Let's talk about some of the upcoming roster changes for the Orioles, Rock.
Yeah, we're going to move, and you have to write down all these because what we heard in March then changed in July, and now it's changing again in August. But the 30-man rosters are going down to 28. That hasn't changed, but they're going to stay there. They're not going to go back down to 26 2 weeks from now. But 2 moves have to be made tomorrow. So they're going to be, working on that. I would think one of the logical ones would be catcher Brian Holiday. I mean, they've got 3 catchers now. And when you go on the road, which you're getting ready to do in D.C. and in Philly, you have to take a catcher on your taxi squad, which, by the way, is increasing from 3 to 5, another new role. So you don't need 4 catchers on that road trip. So it makes sense to have Holiday, just like that opening series in Boston, where he ends up going back on the taxi squad. That's one guy you can remove. Then earlier today, John Means went on the bereavement list. We don't know exactly when he's going to be back. His next start is due Sunday in D.C., but Brandon Hyde doesn't know if he'll make that start. They didn't replace him on the roster, which you're allowed to do today. So that tells me that he could just be the second player that comes off that roster and it becomes 28 men. And then when he's ready to come back, you could go ahead and substitute somebody else. But right now, those would seem to be the 2 logical moves. Certainly Brian Holiday, because no offense to him, and they love his versatility, but you don't need 4 catchers on the road.
I almost feel like we're going to come full circle without conversation as I asked you this question, Rock. We started off talking about DJ Stewart. Now we ended up talking about players who may be on the bubble as we move to 28.
Right, and there's a possibility there. But, another guy, though, anybody remember David Hess? Because I know he pitched opening night in Boston. That was July 24th, and we have not seen David since then. So certainly, if John Means doesn't go on the bereavement list, I think Hess is even more of a bubble guy. But I still think you look at him as a possibility. And I'm sure he's thinking, if I haven't pitched since the 24th, how much security do I have here right now? It was 3 innings in Boston, 3 runs, 7 hits, 68 pitches. Disappointing because, he spent the offseason and with the P3 Pitching Performance Center, that program that John Means has been doing, they gave him a remote one to take back home. He was hoping for a lot of improvement there. Had a rough debut, and we have not seen him since then. So he is certainly a possibility here at some point to be coming off this roster. He is valuable because maybe they're holding him in case a starter gets knocked out in the first and second inning. Former starter could give you some length, but they do have Thomas Eshelman on the roster now, another bubble guy potentially. He was a late addition. He went 3 1/3 last night. But as long as he's on this roster, then you don't need David Hess as much. And again, the fact that I may have seen him warm up one time since that Boston game, the fact that he is not being used at all makes you wonder if maybe they have some other plans for him.
You know, great point, because when you said his name, I thought, oh, that's not a good reaction to have when you bring up a player. Roch,
he's still here. Yes.
Exactly. Roch, thanks a lot, man. Enjoyed it tonight. Ernie Banks special.
Thank you.
Absolutely.